Hello peoples, welcome to Annoyed Gamer. It is I, Marcus Beer, the corpulent one. I noticed a comment last week that said that I'm putting on a bit of weight and I might be losing touch with my younger fan base. Yes, look, I know I'm getting fat. I don't give a shit. I had 2 weeks off and I was off eating food. It was marvelous. It should be about what's in here and what comes out here, not what's down here. This isn't E. I mean, you know, I don't have to be on a diet all the time to be on camera and actually not have a brain. Anyway, couple of topics today and a question from the Twatty. Which is going to come later on in the segment, the show, whatever you want to call it. First of all, I'm going to talk about BioShock Infinite. Hello. Now, BioShock Infinite has had amazing acclaim from everybody. Game of the Year. Ken Levine is a saint. It's marvelous. Everybody else should pack up and go home. The GOTY Awards have been settled and they're all going to BioShock. And I was one of those people until I actually played the game. And look, I'm not saying BioShock Infinite is a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. No, it's a very good game. In fact, it could be one of the best games of the year. But for me, for one major issue, and that's the combat. Now, Columbia is this amazing, beautiful world. Elizabeth is this quite cool little character. Booker DeWitt is a tortured soul. I mean, to start off in Columbia and you see all this amazing stuff and these people walking around and everything's so warm and fluffy and nice, and you know, you see the seamy underbelly when you get into the slums and the shanty towns, and you see things that are going on behind closed doors. That is incredible storytelling. That's an incredible game. Hell, that's incredible in any genre, whether it be movies or books, TV or video games. I mean, it is really emotional with some of the stuff you see. Unfortunately, the combat is leaving me so cold. I still haven't finished it. I mean, I booted the game up the Monday after I got back from France, and I still haven't finished it because combat is such a chore for me. I don't know what's going on. I didn't have this problem in BioShock 1, but in BioShock Infinite, now, you know, it's got to the stage where I know exactly what I'm going to do every time I enter an arena. Because let's face it, every bit of combat, especially later in the game, you're in a frickin' arena. It gets locked off. You can't unlock anything because of you're in combat. And oh look, there's 3 tears. I'm going to see a sky hook or a grappling hook. I'm going to see a missile launcher or a chain gun. I'm going to see a weapon or a health pack. And I'm going to say to Elizabeth, open that tear. And I'm going to do this, this, and this. So basically, this is how I play BioShock Infinite right now. I find out which weapon is there. I tell Elizabeth to open that tear. Then I get behind cover. I power up the possession. I possess the biggest possessable person in the enemy ranks. And just sit there and watch them blow the shit out of each other over and over again. And that's not fun for me. It's not fun because, you know, if I want to take somebody on the combat, the aiming, I mean, I'm playing on the PC and the mouse controls not that good. I mean, I fiddled around for a good half an hour with the mouse controls trying to get it to work, and it's so slippery. And then, so I switched to a controller, and the controller is so slow and janky. I mean, I am really disappointed. I mean, I was so expecting this fluid combat environment, hopping on and off of the sky hooks and the rails, and dropping down and lobbing the vigors at people. I only used 2 vigors, one of them being the possession, and then the other one being murder of crows. And to do that over and over and over, it's taking me out of the atmosphere of the game. I so wanted BioShock Infinite to be so much more than just an amazing location, an amazing story with Halo combat. That's all it is. It's friggin' Halo combat. 2 weapons. Why can't I have a sidearm, a shotgun, and a big-ass weapon? 3 weapons. What's wrong with that? And, you know, I've asked this question before, and people have said, oh, well, it's not realistic, and it'd be too heavy, and let me just say it's BioShock Infinite. It's a video game. It's not realistic. We are looking at a city from 1912 that is floating in the sky. That's not exactly realistic. I can wave my hand, and I can send crows to attack people or set them on fire or possess them. That's not exactly realistic either. So I'm just saying that one particular decision of not giving me a bunch of variety seems like a forced cliche, a forced gameplay trope that you have to have some ammo management. Because yeah, the big weapons, you do run out of ammo pretty quickly, especially the way I tend to shoot at things. Boom, 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 reload, boom, 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 boom. But that's just the way it is. Yeah, so the realism thing, not exactly working. Don't bother with that argument again. You have been defeated. Perhaps I'm the only one. perhaps I am on my own. And if I am on my own, well, maybe, you know, c'est la vie. But this dissenting voice is saying that BioShock Infinite's combat, you know, it's not as fun as Tomb Raider. I had more fun with Tomb Raider combat than I have with BioShock Infinite, and it's really quite disappointing. Okay, topic 2. And this is something I swore I'd never really do again because, you know, I'm out of PR, and, you know, I've jokingly said that I'm happy to dispense PR advice to people if they pay me, because I was relatively good at what I used to do. You know, I like to think so anyway. But let's face it, there's been a disturbing trend in the force over the last couple of weeks, and that's basically CEOs, CFOs, VPs, directors taking to Twitter and to blogs, etc., and saying things to defend their company or to make little comments here and there. And so this is basically Uncle Marcus's free PR advice for anybody at a mid to top level in a video game publisher. And basically the advice is shut the fuck up. Yes, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to know what you have to say. In fact, the only people who want to know what you have to say are the ones who are going to take quotes, put them out of context, and put them onto stories, on blogs or whatever, and rip you a new one. Or if they defend you, they're a bunch of fucking ass kissers. In the media, yeah, I know who you are, and I've called you out already this week, that if you are defending EA and Peter Moore's bleat on the EA blogs, or you're talking about the SimCity blogs and you're saying, oh, they're so nice of them, you are basically not doing your job. Your job and responsibility is to your readership and to your viewership, not to protect a multi-billion-dollar corporation. But anyway, let's step away. Let's talk about Twitter. Let's talk about Adam Orth. He's the guy who obviously went off on Twitter last week talking to a developer from BioWare, and they were just basically trolling each other back and forth, talking about the always-on connection. Unfortunately, Adam Orth was, you know, he may have been a director at Microsoft, you know, creative guy, smart guy. He made one elementary mistake. He didn't lock his Twitter feed. If you lock your Twitter feed, people from Kotaku, NeoGAF, GameTrailers, anybody like that can't see what you're saying. And if you're high up in a video game company, you need to lock that shit down. And honestly, coming out and doing a blog post to say, oh, well, we're the worst company in America again, but we're not really that bad, that's pretty daft. I used to like Peter Moore. He was a straight talker. Now he just seems to be sipping the EA Kool-Aid. And while I'm on the subject of the worst company in America, it isn't up to Peter Moore to defend it. Peter Moore has to come out and say, you know what? People think we're assholes. I'm gonna fix this shit. We're not gonna have the same SimCity shit as before. We're going back in, and the next time somebody talks about Battlefield and talks about emotion, it won't be followed by hit X to saw leg off. It's what's known as common sense. In fact, you know what? I'm gonna put my candidacy out there. EA, put me in charge of your fucking company. 2 years, I'll whip it into shape. I will have all the fucking suits on the unemployment line, and we'll have great games going out to consumers at great prices and cool DLC, and none of this microtransaction bullshit, and always on DRM can go to hell. Anyway, all right, so yes, please consider me. I am very cheap. It's only going to cost you $1 million a year. The worst company in America is a stupid award. EA is the worst video game company in the world by a mile, in my opinion. They take 2 steps forward, they take 18 miles back. But they also have a lot of very progressive stuff going on there. They have same-sex benefits for same-sex couples. They do look after the staff they don't fire. So if you're in an EA corporate, you're pretty much in there. They do take care of people with good benefit packages and stuff like that. So that's good. But no, they're not the worst company in America. I would say that Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, Bank of America, they were giving credit cards to people who shouldn't have credit cards and mortgages to people who shouldn't have mortgages, and then they took a bailout because they fucked up, lost a lot of money, and basically screwed the economy. The Wall Street, financial companies who basically helped send us into this frigging disaster. McDonald's, KFC, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Walmart, basically anybody who shovels shit into our children's mouths. I mean, it's almost literal shit. I mean, McDonald's shouldn't be anywhere near any schools, any colleges. In fact, if you can't have a strip club or a marijuana dispensary within a mile of a school, you shouldn't be able to have a McDonald's, a KFC, a Burger King, or anywhere else that sells shit food to our kids. Boom. Because we have fat kids. And it's not video games that make kids fat. It's not TV. It's shit food. These are the bad companies you should be talking about. And so my challenge to you, Annoyed Gamer watchers, gamers of America and around the world. The next time you see something like this, yeah, it's great to send EA just because they screwed up on SimCity and Battlefield and everything else they've done over the last 2 years. But you know what would be better? Is if you put some of that energy, some of that bile, some of that hatred into getting some change for good in society, because we actually all benefit that way. I mean, I complain about Bank of America all the time. I complain about McDonald's. I complain about lots of other people. You know, this is what Peter should be doing, going after those guys. Again, not video games and killing cats and dogs, because that's what they do. If we could direct our energies into these areas, the world would be a better place. And if the world's a better place, people are happier. And if people are happier, productivity goes up and they get more creative. And guess what? We get better games. Think on that. And that's the rants for today. All right, Twitter question. I got a bunch of questions from you guys over the last couple of days. A lot of them about Adam Orth and Peter Moore and that sort of stuff. So I've kind of covered that in my ramble before. This one's from Band Brother, who wants to know about anti-cheat support and why games like, Call of Duty, the older iterations, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, etc., don't get any cheat support nowadays. Well, the answer is very simple. Activision and EA and all these other companies stand to make zero money from you, because guess what? They're old games. They've put out new iterations. You've probably bought them too. Doesn't matter if the older iterations are better. They don't give a flying fuck because they've already got your money. That's the sweet and simple answer. They won't invest. They won't keep you happy. Hell, I suppose you should be grateful they haven't turned the servers off yet. All right, I am Annoyed Gamer. You can follow me on the Twitter. Post more questions. You can go and find Marcus Beer on Facebook, and you can like me. I have a Facebook page. You can submit questions and thoughts and all that fun stuff. Put your comments down below. Leave my weight out of it. I'm going to work on it. And I will be back next week. Laters.
See all of our shows and game reviews now on the brand new GT app on Xbox Live and the GT Originals iOS app too.